Okay, so we're looking at Research Methods Booklet 2, and so you need that booklet with you, and we're going to look at objectives 1, 2 and 3 in this little video clip. Okay, so we're looking at quantitative and qualitative data and a little bit of information about strengths and weaknesses of them. So you need to fill in this section, page 2. Okay, I've referred to Flanagan, page 46 if you need it. But to be honest, the little video is going to be better because I will just talk through the strengths and weaknesses of this. So I think it will be a little bit clearer for you. But if you want to do some extra reading, you've got this text as well. Okay. So what do we need to know? This is what it says on the syllabus, the distinction between qualitative and quantitative, and also strengths and weaknesses of it. Okay, so we're going to have a look at quantitative data first of all. How do we define it? It is numbers. It's data that's collected in numerical formation. It's numerical information. An example could be a score, right? A score on a questionnaire, something like that. Or it could be the time taken to do a particular task. Or it could be the number of errors made in a particular task, like we did with the buzz-off task. So we tend to associate it with things like questionnaires and experiments, right? What's good about quantitative data is that it is very easy to analyze. The data's in numbers, so it's really easy to analyze, and therefore it also makes it very easy to compare people's scores. So person A got a score of, I don't know, 35, person B gets a score of 70. It's very easy to make those comparisons, so that's great. However, the trouble is that it actually reduces people's information to statistical information, which we've already seen can be advantageous, but the disadvantage is that people cannot expand on their answers. It doesn't give us any detail, doesn't explain why somebody has behaved in a certain way, things like that. Okay, so if you just want to pause the video and add some of that information in, and then we'll move on to qualitative data, qualitative research. So what is qualitative research? What you need to say in the exam is, I would literally just put non-numerical data, but also clarify that, but data using words. Okay, so it's data that can't be counted. It's data about how you feel or think about something. An example might be careful what you're saying about interviews, because sometimes they could be very closed, but here open interview questions, or a case study, right, where you're explaining why somebody has behaved in the way they are, or the way that they did, something like that. So research methods, unstructured interviews, perhaps a good example, and also case studies. Right, what's good about qualitative data? Well, obviously it provides rich, detailed information. It gains access to thoughts and feelings that you can't access when you're doing an experiment, when you're just getting numerical data. So you can understand why somebody has behaved in a certain way, or try to understand it. So it gives us a lot of depth in our answers. The weakness, of course, is really basically talking about the strengths of the quantitative data, because the weaknesses here are that we can't easily analyze. If we want to analyze the data, we have to transfer it into quantitative usually. Okay, and so that obviously makes it harder to compare results. The other thing, of course, qualitative is more time consuming, partly because of the style of what you're gathering, the information. It will take you longer, but also maybe in the analysis of that data as well, so it will be time consuming. And actually, sometimes people criticize it for being quite subjective, because what you're writing down possibly is your interpretation of what they've said, as opposed to exactly what has been said, or it may be provides a more subjective analysis of what has gone on. Okay, so usually we're editing what we're including, and therefore there's a bit of subjectivity in that. So that's a third weakness.